Would you like me to get started, Zohaib, or should I wait? We should start? All right, cool. If you guys want to be a part of the VIP audience without purchasing anything, we have a little story circle right here. And like, they're gonna hear the same talk, but they're not gonna feel the same talk. So if you wanna, elevate your experience, this floor is open, because we're just gonna make this really fun and unique. All right, I'm gonna get started. Hopefully this talk is so sick that right before I'm about to finish, people outside are like, damn, we missed the talk of the day. My name is Ahmad Abdallah. I am the marketer behind Nominal. If you have not heard about it, we sell Arabic-inspired jewelry. We're known for our custom name necklaces, country maps, Quranic jewelry, poetry, hadiths, and everything in between. I have been at Nominal for about 7.5 years. I am the chief marketing officer, and I handle all the storytelling and branding behind the brand. That goes from social media campaigns to content creation, influencer management. Anything the brand does, says, smells like, if it sneezes next to something, that's coming from me. And I really am particular about how Nominal is perceived and how Nominal is presented. And I know a lot of people in here might own their own brands. They might be wondering what's next when it comes to marketing their product, marketing their brand, and how to really treat things like a big deal, which is going to be a recurring theme throughout this talk. I'm gonna keep it pretty short because I do wanna leave time for people to ask questions. I'm personally not a big fan of someone on stage just talking about all of their accomplishments, and then as an audience member, I'm kind of like, so like, where do I come in? And so I'm gonna keep it short, mostly because they trimmed my talk from 45 minutes to 20, but I only need 10, okay? So I'm gonna give you 3 pillars of storytelling that you're gonna be able to apply to whatever brand you own. I don't care if it's halal gummies or Palestine hoodies or chai or masala powder, you're gonna walk away really feeling like you got value out of this. I come from a family of storytellers. My dad cannot sit down while he's telling a story to save his life. He has to stand up, he has to mimic exactly what happened at what scenario, and that inspired me ever since I was a kid to obnoxiously tell stories as loud as possible and really steal the room's attention whenever I can. So that's the family that I come from. That's how storytelling became a part of my blood. And when I entered Nominal, right before the brand turned 1 year old, I came into it being like, we're gonna build a jewelry brand that does not market like a jewelry brand. We're going to storytell as if we're from some other industry. We're going to do video concepts and campaigns as if we are a movie production company. Not necessarily always from the quality standpoint, because we didn't really have the budget to just blow on absurd quality, but just from the way that we perceived ourselves, we really wanted to put ourselves on the map. Even as early as 2018, Akram, the CEO, and myself, we went to Houston for the ISNA convention, and it was the first convention Nominal ever did, and the table was about 6 feet wide. We just had one table right here, one table to our left, and it was just us two working for 16 hours straight, 3 days in a row over Labor Day weekend in 2018, and we showed up with such fervor and such passion that multiple times throughout the weekend, people would ask, how many years have you been doing this? And I was like, 4.5 months, and it really was that commitment to quality and that commitment to showing up as a new version of us, as a version of us that didn't believe that we were just a jewelry brand doing 100, 200K. We felt like we belonged in the big leagues, and that's exactly how we acted every single day, whether it was a convention or online. So I want you to tie this whole talk to self-image, because other than being the chief marketing officer of Nominal, I also run a page online called Ahmad Talks, where I talk about mental health, I talk about self-image, and how absolutely detrimental it is to perceive yourself in one way, but to expect your mind to operate in a different way. That doesn't work. And we learn this from our deen because we're told when we make dua to truly believe like it has already been answered. We are told that when we pray, you should feel like Allah is standing in front of you. This advice in the deen is not just random. It really does do something to your psyche when you believe that something you asked for is already yours, when you believe that you have the capability to show up with the blessings that Allah gave you. So if you own a brand, if you're trying to get into content creation, if you fear something in life, I want you to remember that we are taught to only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not fear other people's judgment. Do not fear how small your company is. Do not fear what's next for your company. Everything will become clearer and clearer every time you decide to take a step that requires courage. So I want you to tie this entire talk to that concept of self-image. Every time I give you a piece of advice and you feel that friction in your heart, I want you to ask yourself, why am I feeling this friction? What is this friction trying to tell me? Because every emotion, at the bottom of that emotion, there is logic. There is good intention under every emotion. Your emotions have consciousness. So when you're feeling anxious when I walk onto stage, or you're feeling anxious when you come into an event like this, that anxiety is trying to protect you. At the end of the day, we are primitive beings. If you date everything back to the caveman era, you will be able to answer any question you have. The reason we got anxious before is because we were tribes. And if you got outcasted from your tribe, what did that mean? You were gonna die. You wouldn't be able to hunt for food without your tribe. You wouldn't be able to see in the dark if you don't have enough people and you don't know how to build a fire. That, unfortunately, didn't go away as humans evolved. That feeling still follows us around. So as I give you what seems to be marketing advice, I want you to remember that it's also life advice. And any friction that you feel in your heart is coming from a logical place that you just need to give it a moment to breathe and ask that emotion, what do you want from me? What are you trying to protect me from? Because trust me, throughout the 8 years of Nominal, there have been many, many moments of self-doubt. There's been many moments of fear. There's been many moments of the imposter syndrome that everybody goes through. And I'm telling you, it doesn't go away. The first pillar that I want you guys to write down when it comes to mastering storytelling is that things are a big deal if you make it a big deal. When I first joined Nominal, we were about to run our first Eid sale. And I decided, in the same way that just sitting down makes people be like, what the hell is this guy doing? That's what storytelling is. Every brand, every person, every situation, every scenario, the way that humans got here was storytelling. Everything is a story. And everything is a big deal if you make it one. So when we started our Eid sale, I was like, we could pop open Canva and put Eid sale, May 15th, 2019, 40% off, nominalx.com, and call it a day. Will anybody care? I mean, probably not. A necklace going from $30 to $18 is not that exciting. But what did we decide to do instead? We did an entire team video of everyone causing what we called absolute anarchy. So we went into our warehouse and we filmed our first ever anarchy video where we had people ranging from 18 to 40 years old brawling over jewelry. It was a blast. The team was having a good time. We filmed it all. People were tugging on chains and throwing hats and backpacks that we started selling, and we turned that into the marketing campaign. Because what I said at first about the Canva file being, 40% off and an Eid sale May 15th, you're like, oh my God, this is so boring. But as soon as you turn it into an anarchy video of people fighting over product, we have your attention. And then just to really seal the deal, we started hyping it up over email and SMS, and we started saying May 15th for 14 days straight. You know what that did to our sales from May 1st to May 14th? It tanked them. Tanked them. You're gonna give someone a gift if their birthday's in 7 days? No. You're gonna buy from nominalx.com if we have the sale of the year happening in 8 days? No. And you know what happens when you do this and you tell people that your sales are tanking? They call you crazy. When you're making $5,000 to $10,000 a day as a brand, and then you commit to 14 days of like $1,000 to $2,000 instead, I mean, that's a net loss of about $119,000. But when you treat things like a big deal, they become a big deal. So the only thing we were trying to beat was 2018's Black Friday. It was like a 7-day Black Friday sale the year before, and then we were coming up on this Eid sale. And then the last thing to really make it dramatic, we shut down the website 24 hours before the sale started. That's a really big loss of sales, and now even potential damage to SEO. Anybody trying to shop can't. Side tangent, I went into a gym maybe 8-9 days ago, and they had a paper on their fridge that was like, our system doesn't work, so we can't sell like any energy drinks. And I'm looking at the guy and I'm like, I can't buy an energy drink? He goes, no, our sales system's down. I was like, you don't have any way to take my money? Like, this is the most anti-capitalistic thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, just charge my card on file. You don't even need a system. Like, I'll just give you a $5 bill. And he was just like, sorry, bro, it's my first day. I can't take your money. I was like, that's insane, man. The owner of EOS would freak. But that's what we did when we shut down the Nominal website. People are probably like, you don't want my money? No, we don't. We don't want you to buy anything until tomorrow. So then tomorrow came. It was, I think the start date of that sale was officially May 1st. And me and Akram were sitting down. And we had our laptop open, looking at the analytics, all like terrified of like finally unlocking the website. And it goes live at 12:01. And like 1,000 people were on the site. And we're looking at each other and we're like, this must be wrong. And then the orders started coming in. And then we realized we didn't count inventory because we didn't really think this would work. And all we wanted to do was beat Black Friday, which was a 7-day sale the year prior, like I mentioned. We hit Black Friday's numbers in 44 minutes. And this could have broken the company. Like, that's how intense the sale was. Within 44 minutes, we had a week or two's worth of sales, and we were like, we actually considered shutting the website down. We didn't know if we could handle the emails and the customers and people wanting to change their orders, and God forbid they order the wrong ring size, and for some reason they're shipping it to like their childhood home, and sorry, my autofill put my old childhood house in Austin, Texas, can you change it for me? I'm like, sorry, no, we can't. But this proves that when something is a big deal to you, then make it one. So, like I said, whether you're selling spices or hoodies or gummies, do not undersell yourself. And in life, do not undersell yourself. If Allah gave you an idea, if Allah gave you an identity, if Allah gave you a skill set or resources or connections or a talent or a gift, use it. Use it and give your community the thing that you know you are best at. And like I said, storytelling is the crux of humanity, and that is why I wanted to, number one, choose this topic for this stage and for this event, because I feel like we don't talk about storytelling as Muslims enough. We don't talk about it as entrepreneurs enough. We're busy with the technical data, but we don't know how to actually emotionally connect with our customers. So that's pillar one. Pillar two, and you may have heard about this before, but now that you know pillar one, it starts to sit on a completely different foundation. People do not care about the product itself. And Maryam, I believe you mentioned, innovation pales in comparison to integrity or quality or consistency or excellence. And ihsan in our religion really is a mandate to do everything with ihsan. Even from the business negotiations, we're taught to, don't try to get something for too cheap. Don't try to sell it for too much. So I want you guys to really focus on who does your customer become when you give them your product, when you give them your service. What does it do to their identity? And everything you do when it comes to storytelling and marketing should run through that lens. The third pillar, your customer is not your customer, they are your hero. And I want you to position them as such. For an entire year, Nominal did not shoot one image other than our product imagery on the website. But we posted every single day for 7.5 years. Sometimes, some eras, especially during COVID, 3 times a day on Instagram. So whenever someone comes up to me, whether they're a personal content creator or they're a business, and they're like, my content's not working, I'm running out of ideas. I'm like, let me see the last time you posted. Pull it up right now. And they pull it up 9 days ago. What are you doing? I can make a TikTok right now. If they weren't telling me to get off stage, I could literally pull up TikTok right now, and as a personal creator, I can make a video right now, and it can change my life forever. You can do the same thing as a brand. We were using our community, we were using our customers, we were using our tagged photos, even if the quality wasn't there, because you operate from a lens of perfectionism. I'm telling you right now, does anybody here identify as a perfectionist? Can you raise your hands? Have you ever said like, oh, I can't put it out, it needs to be perfect? Sweet, okay. I tell you this because I love you. Perfectionism is from the shaitan. Perfectionism is from the devil because he wants you to think that the longer I plan and I create my planner and my color-coded Post-it notes and my Notion boards and I research and pros and cons and absar shu, then I will arrive with ihsan. Shaitan always talks logically, right? Self-sabotage, and he never says skip prayer, abandon this thing. No, just put it off. Just pray in a little bit. Pray. Shaitan's literally telling you pray, just not right now. So I want you to keep an eye out for that perfectionism feeling, because that is what stops you, especially in branding and marketing and life in general. You will never post if you're waiting for something to be perfect, because we all know perfection doesn't exist anyways. So you're just wasting time, you're just self-sabotaging. My final tip, as you start to explore the storytelling industry of marketing, I want you to remember to borrow inspiration from other industries. This is truly what made Nominal what it was, because I come from a background, and you all come from a background that is it is an aggregation of something that nobody else can replicate, right? Someone might be into the gym and supplements and shoes and so on and so forth, and they know a little bit about camera work, and they're also really knowledgeable about like Islamic history. That concoction, the probability of somebody else having the exact same concoction of your skill sets and your life experiences are pretty much zero. We are all unique beings for that reason. So when I entered Nominal, I had a background of I majored in creative writing, I minored in film, I loved wrestling growing up, like WWE, like that medium of entertainment was very unique for me, because I was like, that's like half a sport, but it's also kind of a play, but it's also like a movie and a TV show. It's like very interesting how that is like written and conveyed. And then I also loved stand-up comedy. I also loved movies. And I concocted that aggregation of traits and skill sets and brought it into marketing. And that's why when we did our Anarchy video or any Eid sale video, people would be commenting like, why is this so dramatic? Like, why, the jewelry is just 40% off. Like, why does it feel like a movie trailer? Why are you guys using like the Godzilla soundtrack, you know? And I was like, just because it's fun. Have fun. Borrow inspiration from other industries and then bring it to yours. We've had mentors of ours, for example, that are in the teeth whitening space, but they designed their packaging. They definitely didn't learn it from Crest and Colgate, who haven't innovated since 1912. They borrowed it from Dior's lipstick. So they went to an adjacent industry. Who cares about whitening their teeth? Probably the people who are buying makeup. So they went to that industry, they borrowed the packaging there, they brought it to teeth whitening. What do you think that does to someone who's shopping teeth whitening? It'll blow their mind. They'll never have thought that you can dispense whitening foam onto your toothbrush from a stunning thing that you would only see from like a Naturium vitamin C serum, right? So if you want to truly bring uniqueness to your industry, borrow inspiration from industries that have nothing to do with you. Music and film, adjacent categories, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna leave it there because I feel like if I go any longer, I don't know, I'm either gonna get arrested or never invited again. So if you guys have any questions, I'm not sure if we have time for it, but I got a little from Ruba. So I'll wrap it up here. I hope that was helpful. I know it was a lot quicker than I wanted to go today, but I'll be around for the rest of the night. I'll be around at the VIP after party as well if you guys want to chat about marketing, mental health, self-image, whatever it is. I'm here to help wherever I can and provide value wherever I can. So I'll leave the floor open for questions until we literally get kicked out, but that'll be all for today. Thank you guys.